boring, reassuring. But day I met you, there's nothing I want more than to be right there by your side. In the moonlight, crystal skylines, cross my heart, I'll be there till the end. Right there with you, even though you'll never notice me. 'Cause I'm just a street girl, crossing worlds and the galaxies, just to see you. I'll risk my life knowing that maybe I won't reach your heart, but I can't resist. When I come around, little do I know about you now. Oh, I'm pretty sure that you're the one. Go around the night and have some fun. Something about the way you make me feel. Everything about you can be real. I'll do anything to have you here, but I'm pretty sure we'll never be. The fact is clear, we're worlds apart. I don't want this, please. Ugh, damn it. Just a space girl, crossing worlds and the galaxies, just to see you. I'll risk my life knowing that maybe I won't reach your heart, but I can't resist. This is goodbye. One more time.
Welcome back, Overwatch fans, to another amazing night.
We have a fantastic match tonight, no question about it.
Oh my god, yes!
Put the barrage! Make sure they can't even follow up afterward.
And Wash is down 2 in this fight thus far. Make that 3, make that 4 right now here. Dynamic team gets a 4-man tire.
Those who find the picks will save the fights, and they don't really need to save what they've already won.
100 gets 3 with the primal rage.
Experience tranquility.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Tranquility Gaming's Transcendence Tier feature match. Here I am, Mr. Yeti. Joining me tonight is Dexatron. How are you doing, Dex?
Man, Yeti, I am doing great. I'm happy to be in the booth here with you tonight as I am casting my first Overwatch 2 game tonight. And we have a matchup here tonight that is very, very packed full of storylines.
Mhm. Absolutely. Two teams that are really coming in looking to make a statement right now with very different paths in that first stage. We have 413 Catalyst coming in. 413 Catalyst had a 3-2 stage one. They won their first 3 games, two tough matchups against two top teams in Guangzhou Gangsters and the Sydney Sunsets left them sitting at 3-2 after that. So they're coming into this matchup here looking to make a statement, trying to show which side of 413 are we looking at. Are we looking at the 3-0 413, or are we looking at the 0-2 413? That's a lot of numbers, Dex. I'm having a little trouble here. We got a Crabby Crabbers. They're coming in kind of a bit of a different tale. They've got a different storyline from stage one here.
Yeah, the Crabbers started off their season, their first 4 games, only went 1-3. They added on a couple players after that 4th week of Smokey and Dragon, and in that 5th week, they were able to get a win in that 5th game and improve the record 2-3 on the season so far. So this game tonight for both teams plays a huge factor in how the rest of the season will go on for them. Will the 413 Cali squad show us that 3-0 start was not a fluke, or will the Crabby Crabbers show that, you know, those 2 additions that they made late in the first half of the season really are making a big difference into Overwatch 2 now?
It's a big opportunity for both teams to make a statement here on this feature stage, and it's an exciting night for us too, because not only do we have this amazing matchup, we are also continuing to raise money for charity from last week's event week. And you want to tell us a little bit about that here, Dex?
Yeah, as you said, this week we are collecting donations for the Rise Above the Disorder Cancer Foundation. Rise Above the Disorder is on a mission to make mental health care accessible to everyone everywhere. They help people find their mental health treatments they need, and for those unable to afford it, they cover the cost. They help people regardless of health insurance or budget, because everyone deserves to get their mental help they need. We hope you'll join us and consider making a donation to this important cause. You can get the link to donate by typing !donate in the chat.
We definitely appreciate any donations you guys are willing to make. We've raised $2,705 so far for this fantastic cause. But we got some Overwatch to cover tonight here. We got Crabby Crabbers taking on 413 here. We kick it off on Busan here, everybody. Busan is our first map here, kicking off Transcendence here in Overwatch 2. It has been an interesting launch here, Dex, to say the least, but we are finally here in Overwatch 2, and we finally get the opportunity to see more than just Overwatch League and contenders playing in a competitive environment. Do you have any expectations regarding compositions? Because it seems like right now, if you're watching Overwatch League, you're seeing a decent little bit of variety.
Well, so far the teams are not really showing any big differences between the two. The only big difference is a Sombra for, I believe that is the Crabby Crabbers, and a Sojourn for 413. But other than that, I kind of always felt like, especially watching Overwatch League and the contenders, that tanks are going to play a much bigger role now. Either they're going to be playing very, very defensive, keeping their teams alive, or they're going to be offensive and trying just to get as much damage, find as many elims as they can to start off. And so far, throughout the start of Overwatch 2 here, I believe that has been the case.
Yeah, Overwatch 2 definitely showing a lot of tempo play. Seems to be a big mover for these teams in this fight. We see a dive in here from Iwatoda from Crabby Crabbers, getting in deep onto Retro for 413. Retro is able to just barely escape. First kills come in, even trades right now for both teams as 413 builds up a point presence here early, trying to get that first cap in. We see the dive now in for Iwatoda, leading Crabby Crabbers onto the point here. We see a fight now taking place. Halvar gets caught out here on that Lucio. 2 now down here for 413 Catalyst. And that is going to be Crabby Crabbers here taking the first take.
Yeah, we saw there start off that entire team fight, dragging in the hack onto, I believe it was Retro on the Soldier. While they weren't able to get the kill there, that is one of the heroes that I really want to be, that we really have to watch out for tonight, because Sombra is in a state right now where she is incredibly strong. And we saw it right there. We saw Dragon get the hack onto Retro, and we saw Iwatoda dive on them, trying to get the kill. Not able to get it there, but they did end up winning that team fight in the end. And now we're starting to see just a little bit more divey kind of pokey plays come out of each side.
Fine, taken extremely low and is caught by Off-White there, but a trade now with Hawkshot going down. No main tank now, or no tank, I should say. Gotta get used to that here. No tank now for 413, and that is typically the end of a fight at that point once that happens. And Crabby Crabbers are going to continue to hold off Smash. Finds a couple of cheeky kills on the way out of there, and that's continued point pressure, 43% and counting now for Crabby Crabbers.
Yeah, and Smax does have that Coalescence ready to go here. Only Ultimate ready to go at the moment, but Dragon is close to their own EMP. Off-White is close to a Blade here, and Dragon is going to be looking for that EMP to start everything off here. They're going to get it right now, and they pop it. It hits 4. They're already able to find 1.
Fantastic EMP there from Dragon, setting up there, finding Off-White right away. Fine, looking for those finishing kills here. Gets Biotic Grenade. They will manage to get out of there. Only a couple kills, but that's going to be all it takes there. Crabby Crabbers now set up nicely for really what is last fight territory now for 413.
Yeah, but the big difference here is Retro is close to that EMP and gets incredibly close to dying. They're able to escape, so that EMP will still be up and ready for them now. They'll come into this engagement with 4 ultimates. Same can be said for 413 as well, as we see Hawkshaw dive in to get everything started here.
Hawkshaw in, EMP now out, only catches Smack here from the Crabby Crabbers from not the most effective EMP from Retro. And here comes the Dragon Blade from Off-White, but they get caught by Smack with the Coalescence. 2 down for 413, and all Crabby Crabbers right now. Hawkshaw with that primal rage is going to be able to stay alive on the point a little bit longer, trying to boot some people off the point and get those environmental kills. Hack's now back in on Hawkshaw, and that debuff is just meaning he is getting chewed up. And that is the end here. It looks like 413 going down. Crabby Crabbers taking the first take here.
Yeah, but 413 trying to keep this point alive, just getting as many touches as they can right now. But the heroes that are around the point are incredibly low. 2 straight kills go there for the way of the Crabby Crabbers, and they take the first point here on Busan.
Crabby Crabbers, a fantastic start to the matchup here, as I am dealing with a little bit of lag. But really strong start here for Crabby Crabbers, it looks like, on this first point. And I may have... Nope, I'm back up and running. I'm so sorry about that, guys. Good first point there for Crabby Crabbers. Very, very strong tank play. And honestly, Dragon, fantastic Somber play. I really think set that one up.
Yeah, honestly, everything kind of hinged on Dragon getting the hacks there, and the EMP that they got was a lot more valuable than the EMP we saw from 413 there. Retro was only able to find Smacks there, and they didn't even confirm the kill onto Smacks. And right now, again, we're seeing a little bit different comps come out from each side. One different DPS and one different support. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play. And again, we're going to see Dragon come out on that Somber. It was key last map. I imagine it's going to be key again on this one.
Sombra in a really strong spot right now, looking to see if they can get a good hack off. It gets negated there by the bubble from Hawkshaw as we see dueling Zarya's here. Zarya now being the new Brawl tank, which is kind of an interesting little tweak to the normal brawls we're used to with Rectangle Man leading the way. But that said, here we go, Dragon with the hack in there with the Immortality Field, keeping the team alive and well just for a little bit longer. But we see Crabby Crabbers absolutely applying a major dose of pressure as they fall back to point now and move the fight there. The continued fight now with Retro now on the high ground, overlooking everything, drops down to low. He's got that full railgun charge here, looking for a kill. They have not taken the shot. There's the shot. They did not connect, however. Retro getting very close to that overload already, though, however. So that is a good spot here right now for the Crabbies, or for 413. They get that first takedown.
Yeah, and they get a second one right up after that. Hawkshaw absolutely killing in, being the only one to have their name on that kill feed.
Hawkshaw coming up big for 413. Definitely trying to come back after that rough first map.
Yeah, and honestly, that was a very interesting play we saw come out from the Crabby Crabbers there. They decided to just forego the team fight that was going up on that high ground, and it said just go straight for point. And it almost did work out for them, but I kind of thought once they did that, they pretty much put themselves in the worst position possible because they allowed Catalyst to have that high ground advantage and kind of just really limited themselves on where they could move.
Absolutely. Definitely, I would agree with you there. Getting Retro that high ground was huge. The EMP in only catches Alvar, who's immediately going to get the sound barrier off. Well played there from Alvar from 413. And here comes the Dragon Blade as well from Off-White, but it's just Retro right now finding 3 there in that kill with Off-White grabbing the last one there. Ice Spirit going down, and that's 413 keeping up the pressure here on Mecha Base.
Yeah, one thing that we didn't really notice in that last fight is the Crabby Crabbers did use some ultimates there. They used a grab, so that's no longer available. They are coming up on the Death Blossom, but that's basically it. Retro's still holding on to their ultimate right now. That's going to be big if it can be, but here we go. Vine popping there. Dragon does find a kill, though, to start everything off.
Dragon with a big kill there, fine with the ultimate, gonna find another here, but 2 kills now with Retro popping that railgun off here. Looking at Retro right now to see if they can get the final kills they need, but they're all alone, and that is gonna be Crabby Crabbers getting the take with 90% in the tank for 413.
Yeah, each team used their ultimates they had ready to go in that last engagement, and it kind of worked out better for the Crabbers as they're able to retake point. And now we're kind of at this standstill where we're pretty much going to be watching a team fight here go with no ultimates to start. Smacks is very, very close to their damage matrix, but I do not think they'll be able to get it ready by the time this team fight fully breaks down.
That Dragon not quite able to get the hack off again, negated by the bubble from Zarya there. Iwatoda right now, no bubbles in hand, 100% energy though. They're putting in so much damage, they almost just carved apart Off-White there in just a half second. The damage right now is insane from this fully charged Zarya, but nonetheless, still managing to stay afloat right now is the 413 Catalyst. Here we go, continued poke out phases on, and Dragon is going to find that first kill on the Off-White. Here comes their Gravitron Surge from Iwatoda, puts 3 into it, and that is convincing fight win there with Fine picking up the pieces from that fantastic grab.
Yeah, and one thing I really liked about that there is that they really only use the ultimates they need to use. Their Dragon still has that EMP, which should be big and very, very key in these next couple team fights, as it's basically the EMP and the beat is all they have. When you look at what Catalyst has, they have a Dragon, they have, and a huge EMP comes out, finds 4.
Oh, wow, fantastic EMP there. Set up there from Dragon, and that is just, it's an immediate fight win. And this is something we saw a lot in Overwatch 1, and despite it not disabling your abilities nearly as long in Overwatch 2, I mean, the effectiveness is still just there and present.
Yeah, especially with the 40% damage increase that Sombra gets. But Retro finds a kill here. Here comes the Dragon Blade from Off-White.
You see a Sound Barrier now in, Ice Spear pops the Sound Barrier, and here we go again now, Off-White coming back into the fight with the Dragon Blade, not able to find any kills, however, but that is the point presence alone is enough for 413 as they manage to hold on to point here. Retro popping the ultimate there with that overclock, not able to get the connection that they need. But that said, the kills are all right now red in the feed, and it looks like that is going to be point 2 taken here by 413 Catalyst as we head to a deciding point 3.
Yeah, this one was really, really back and forth there. While 413 Catalyst was able to get 70% in that first cap of it before we saw the Crabbers retake it, the Crabbers had a couple good team fights there, using their ultimates and playing smart in these team fights when they knew they had no ultimates ready to go. And we saw it there when Smacks used their damage matrix. They had no ultimates. Neither team had any ultimates there, and they played it perfectly just to kind of wait out and try to bait out anything from 413 if they thought they had one. But now we go to, I believe this is called Sanctuary. Yes. For the final map.
We head to the Sanctuary for the final match here on Busan. This one, again, you gotta get the interesting variety of styles. We see the Brawl coming out here from, well, I should say, they're both fairly similar, but a little bit more of a Brawl style coming out from 413. We see Iwatoda with Crabby Crabbers going instead with that. Oh, the Dragon gets caught out there. You have to use that Translocator out early here. Not able to get really anything started on that EMP. And Crabby Crabbers set up early on the point here. Iwatoda with the dive in. Immortality Field already used and down here from Fan. We see the pressure pushing back the Crabby Crabbers, pushing back 413 Catalyst right now. Crabby Crabbers are in position here. They will get the first point take. The fight is back on now on the drum here. And we see Dragon go in on Off-White, finds Off-White, one now down for 413 Catalyst as the pressure continues to pour on here from the Crabby Crabbers.
Yep, we do see Retro pick up Dragon there, so no more Sombra left, but Smacks takes care of Retro, so that's a DPS for a DPS there, so I imagine the Crabbies or the Crabbers will always take that.
The Crabby Crabbers are definitely going to take that spot here. They're currently holding that point, picking up that percentage. Here we go, yet another engagement now on Iwatoda, diving in, taking very low, but it is managing to get back out here. Immortality Field already invested, taken down. Dragon, though, does get caught out here on the Sombra. We see Gravitron Surge in, not initially connecting, but they do find Ice Spirit as she ends up in the Gravitron Surge. We see Retro right now on this Sojourn here, trying to find those crucial picks to get this one for 413 Catalyst. but a Primal Rage now from Iwatoda spells disaster for Retro. And Iwatoda right now looking to pick off here, looking to pick off Van, and that is going to be another one for Iwatoda on this Winston in a dominant position here, and that is going to be a continued hold here for the Crabby Crabbers.
Yeah, but a little bit of a mistake there by Iwatoda. Dived a little bit too close to that Reaper, and Off-White's able to take care of them. So now 413 knows that they do not have a tank here for a little bit, and maybe this is their go button. However, hacks coming out from Dragon are going to kind of hold them back a little bit as they all regroup. Looking at the ultimates that the 413 team's going to come into this fight with, they're going to have 4 ready to go, both DPS and both support. Hawkshaw is very, very far away from that grab. And here comes the EMP from Dragon. It finds 3 at the cost of their own life.
It's a big one. Dragon is taken down, however, but and here comes the death loss as well, but it's just not going to be enough. And right now, 413 Catalyst is in absolute dire straits here, 95% on the point. I believe Hawkshaw is the only one left on the point. They're going to get the contest on. Here we go. The overtime wick is ticking, but Hawkshaw is already down. You see Sound Barrier now next to Halvar on the retake, trying to get back in there, but Retro already taken down as well. The hack now in on Halvar. Halvar, just a matter of time here, it looks like, and the Crabby Crabbers are going to take Busan here 2-1.
Yeah, honestly, this was a good showing from both teams here. Crabby Crabbers, though, getting that first cap really played a big part into this, in my opinion. While they dived on the 413 Catalyst team, who was just kind of in that side rim there for the longest time, it was a huge dive coming out from their Winston that really started everything for them there, because it forced out, I believe, one Elim and forced 413 back a little bit, and that just allowed the Crabby Crabbers to kind of roll through the rest of that point. And like we saw, they did a very, very good job throughout Busan, but on the first and that last point, they did a really, really good job considering how open those spaces were.
It definitely feels like it's going to be a battle of those DPS. We saw all of the DPS from both teams really popping off at different times. Dragon and Fine look fantastic. Retro and Off-White. Retro Sojourn looks to be an absolute menace right now. So we'll definitely look to see as those two teams start to pop off here going into our next round. Taking a look now, we have the next map is going to be at the choice of 413 Catalyst, and a change from stage 1. As you recall, normally we would go to 2CP. 2CP is dead. Yay. I think everybody,
I miss it.
You miss it.
We've had this conversation before, Yeti. I actually like 2CP.
Yeah, you're one of those. You're one of those. I have to respect it, and I'm sorry.
No, you could put me in a straitjacket and send me to the insane asylum. I understand.
Send you there with NPC, the only 2 people I know who actually enjoy 2CP. Nonetheless, we're heading to hybrid here next in our map. Our map selection again falls to 413 Catalyst. They'll have the choice in hybrid maps here of 2 new maps this stage, Pariso and Midtown, and then also Hollywood as well. So the options here are in favor of 413. Could bring us something new here, but they're working on getting that all set up. Overwatch 2 just definitely feels like a different game. Even casting it, Dex, I have to say, like, it definitely, you could really feel just kind of the change in tempo and how like the game actually plays from point to point.
Yeah, I feel like dropping one of those tanks there really made the game speed up a lot. That's the biggest thing that I've really noticed, that, you know, there's really no prolonged, drawn out fights. It's if there's ultimates being invested, basically everyone is trying to counter ult to keep their team alive or to just kill as many people on the other team. And I believe getting rid of one of those tanks has put such a bigger role or emphasis on those 2 DPS to actually step up and be doing or pulling their weight, essentially, because without that other tank to do some damage and to kind of take some damage for the rest of their team, they have to play around the one tank they have very, very smartly. They cannot play dumb, they cannot play stupid like how I normally play. That's why I'm bad at this game.
It is one of those games, a lot of people, I say this a lot in Harmony tier, some people would think, oh, you know, you can kind of hide this player. They're going to get covered up by their off tank. They're going to get peeled for. There's no hiding anymore. Weaknesses get exposed. Mistakes get caught. It's just what happens in a 5v5 scenario. It really is interesting. It's definitely made the game a more dynamic experience throughout, I think. And it's a lot of fun to watch. Definitely an enjoyable experience for me as a player. I'm definitely having a lot of fun as a caster. Something I'm definitely going to have to get used to, because there's a lot less downtime to kind of predict what's going to happen in between these fights.
Yeah, honestly, as a caster, it's one of those things where you're gonna always be looking at a fight or two ahead, basically,
Right.
because you're looking at what ults the teams have. You're looking at, do you expect them to use them here? Like, we see Sombra and Genji a lot here. We saw Sombra and Genji every map or every point on that last map, and they were huge parts of it. A 5-man EMP, a 4-man EMP, and a 3-man EMP all coming out from Dragon. And I feel like all those EMPs were instantly team fight winners, because the rest of the team were so coordinated to dive on the people that they EMP'd that they just did not allow 413 to really play. And we see Genji come out a lot. And like I said before, I feel like there's a bigger emphasis on DPS. And Genji has been one of those heroes that a lot of people are putting up really, really high in their tier list. And it's just because Dragonblade now is incredibly strong, in my opinion, without that second tank.
And he's so survivable. He can get in and out of fights so easily. There's no off-tank peeling for the backlines anymore, so he's a lot harder to punish. There's just a lot of benefits to playing a Genji in this meta. And really, we didn't see a whole lot of changes to Genji going into this new game. It just kind of just made sense that Genji was being played. And now we're gonna head to Hollywood. Both teams deciding to go with a map they already know from Overwatch 1 in Hollywood here. Hollywood is a map that tends to favor, I guess back in stage 1, it tended to favor a lot of double shield strategies and also a lot of wrecking ball strategies, but those days have passed now, everybody, and we're going to see some different approaches here with 413 Catalyst now on your left on the screen, coming out with the D.Va on this composition here with a little bit more of a dive comp, putting Halvar onto the Zenyatta and Than onto the Ana. We go over to looking at Crabby Crabbers now on your right, and you're seeing them come out with that Winston composition again. Iwatoda looked really good on the Winston last time.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm surprised we're not seeing Dragon come back out on that Sombra. Instead, Vine is coming in to be the Sombra for them. Retro's gonna be the Sombra for the 413 squad here, and kind of doing a little bit of recon there, letting them know who they have before I believe we saw him either TP back or just waiting in the backline to hack someone.
Here we go now. Dragon on this Ashe. Ashe has looked really good this this game so far. Ashe has definitely been a potent, high damage potential hero here. Halvar taken extremely low. Fine is just sitting and waiting like a lion growling, but you're gonna get forced out immediately. So not, unfortunately, the most effective scenario here. Hawkshot clearing off the high ground there, takes a hack, taking very low, is going to get demeched here now. The D.Va now out of mech means that it is a prime time for the Crabby Crabbers to get in there and go, and get in and go they do. Well, briefly actually, they actually sent it off there pretty quickly, guys.
Yeah, I don't understand why the Crabby Crabbers are taking that so slow, especially after D.Va got demeched there, but Fine picking that kill on Halvar is basically going to be the go button for me, in my opinion, at least. They get rid of one support, and it should be enough, because Ana can only do so much on their own here, but yet, they're still playing very far back, and Off-White diving in does get punished for it, and we just continue to see the Crabby Crabbers here pick up kills.
Crabby Crabbers just keep finding these slow and steady kills right now, playing this fight very slow, but it has paid off for them as they find these kills. Halvar taken out early there ended up being that go button you were looking for here for this fight, and there's the first point take for the Crabby Crabbers. 5 minutes on the clock and a very nice time bank as they head into the next part here. But Fine gets caught with their hands in the cookie jar trying to prevent the remake. Unfortunate for Fine there. The Crabby Crabbers now down their Sombra, but Iwatoda now also taken down as well. So this fight starting off very strong here for 413 Catalyst, with Dragon taken down as well.
Yeah, and honestly, one of the things I really noticed about playing Hollywood with only 5 characters is that teams are really like holding at this point right here. Without having that second tank, you can hold at this choke point right here very efficiently and have it work out to your favor a lot of times here. Fine and Retro both have their EMPs ready here, so it's going to be interesting to see who pops it first, and it will be Retro who does find 2.
Retro with the EMP, going to get taken out almost immediately there, but nope, Smack's taken out for the Crabby Crabbers. Missing one of those healers there. Yandere pops the Valkyrie. going to keep that team afloat right now. Crabby Crabber still hanging on by a thread right now as Hawkshaw continues to pile on some aggression here, but not able to find any more kills. Off-White very low, going to get popped back up by Fan. Definitely kind of an interesting, prolonged fight here. We're not... Hawkshaw? Oh, but the dragon blade from Off-White. I'm confused with what I just saw there, Jax. I'm not really sure what I just witnessed.
Yeah, honestly, I think you heard me kind of react to what Hawkshaw did there. I understand using the bomb there to remake, but with only the Winston of eToyota over there on that being the only shield, that the Diva Bomb becomes so much more valuable if you can put it in the right spot. It can always be huge, you know, regardless of what version of Overwatch it is, but just kind of wasting the bomb there. Like, you had a couple ultimates you could have played into it there, especially with the EMP from Retro, which they did use, I believe.
They did. Halvar finds smacks here. So again, the Ana taken out early right now for the Crabby Crabbers. Not able to get much going here with that Ana so far. Been picked off early in a lot of these fights for Crabby Crabbers. So 413 is doing a great job right now of keeping these healers at bay. But my goodness, both Sombras traded out their Dragon with the pick onto Retro, who was hunting down Fine. Here comes the res onto Fine from Yan there. And that is going to put Crabby Crabbers now on the offensive. But Hawkshaw finds Iwatoda. And it's just like neither team can really get their footing on this one, Dex.
Yeah, like I kind of said before, as we see the ultimate disrespect play there, as Off-White picks up Fine as well. But like I was saying before, one thing I really noticed about Overwatch 2 and how people play this map is that the defense teams really like to try to hold this choke point here as long as they possibly can. And since the car's already going back to the choke point now, I believe we could see 413 here hold this for as long as they absolutely want to right now. Dragon almost is able to take Halvar out there, but they do know both the supports for the Crabby Crabbers are on that high ground.
And the entire time, Halvar and Fan have just been sitting on that high ground, just applying pressure, keeping their team afloat. It's been a very effective defense so far for 413 Catalyst. But here we go now with Halvar charging up the orbs there. Fan caught there by Dragon. But we see Hawkshaw again with another pick onto Dragon. So despite these kind of early picks tending to go in the favor of Crabby Crabbers, it immediately switches back. There's just constant trades right now. We're not really seeing either team kind of take advantage of the situation.
Yeah, and one thing that I'm seeing from the Crabby Crabbers right now is, the Crabby Crabbers, that eToyota actually went over to a Diva to kind of counter the Diva that Hawkshaw's playing. The bomb comes out from Hawkshaw, doesn't find anyone as we see Dragon get hacked here.
Dragon gets hacked out, that pops the Bob out here to help hold that high ground for Crabby Crabbers. They all take a biotic grenade though, so they're forced to play defensive, and Off-White will pop the Dragon Blade, take out Dragon and Fine, and that is a very strong start here. 413 continuing to pile on the pressure right now, and a great .2 defense so far for 413 Catalyst.
Yeah, and some of the swaps we're seeing come out from the Crabby Crabbers right now are kind of interesting to me. Dragon on that Widowmaker is basically just to do that right there, land a headshot on the Halvar, and that could be exactly what the Crabby Crabbers were looking to do, get rid of Halvar, so they only have to deal with Than, who's already incredibly low. Off-White takes out Fine, though, so that might kind of stall this Crabby Crabbers attack for a moment.
Crabby Crabbers settling in here just a little bit. We see now pardon me, Crabby Crabbers keeping up the aggression. We see the bomb from Iwatoda self-destruct, finding Fan here. The trades are continuing a little bit here, but right now, ooh, there goes Dragon, taken down by Hawkshaw. Hawkshaw leaves the cart to get the Widowmaker off the field, hack onto Yandere, and that's a great hack for Retro, setting that one up. D-Mech now onto Hawkshaw, so kills are continuing to be traded out. Not really clear who's going to come out on top. Off-White right now keeping the pressure up, and Hawkshaw in Baby Diva form going to find a couple, and that does spell the end here for the attack for Crabby Crabbers. A really good defense on .2 for 413 Catalyst.
Yeah, especially after kind of their lackluster defense on that first point there. While it did take the Crabby Crabbers there to actually a little bit to actually go after picking up some kills to cap that first point, 413 really did have a strong defensive hold on the initial push part of Hollywood here. And you know, one thing that really went down at the end there that I don't think really either of us saw there is, I believe it was Retro sitting in that jail cell to the right of where the cart ended. just continuing to hack people, just standing in there, not taking any damage whatsoever. But now we have to see what 413 is going to be able to do here, because they do have that. They essentially have a winning scenario here. However, we could see the Crabby Crabbers do exactly what 413 did on their defense here.
Definitely. I think Crabby Crabbers are in a really good spot. I mean, we saw some fantastic tank play from Iwatoda so far, and I mean, it would not shock me to see them turn this one around and provide a very similar defense here. But nonetheless, 413 Catalyst, great opportunity to even the score here in this very critical first match in Overwatch 2 this season. So both teams trying to make that statement, and this is a good opportunity now for 413 to bounce back. Now, worth noting, 413's wins that they had this season, other than the forfeit win that they got, they were all 3-2. So 413 has a habit of playing their wins very close. So we could be in for a long night here, guys.
I mean, I'm up for it. And one thing I'm just pointing out here, as we already see 413 Catalyst dive onto that high ground, is Yandere coming out on the brig. Normally, I would not think that would be a smart choice, but I'm interested to see how they play around it now.
Haven't seen a whole lot of Brigitte being played in Overwatch 2 in general, but we're seeing the brig now out for Yandere. I mean, Inspire is still a very strong heal, but Halvar finds the first kill onto Dragon. Halvar on the Zenyatta has had several impact kills so far tonight for 413. Here we go, Hawkshaw now getting in there. And again, it's like you say, you get that initial pick off with this composition, and suddenly it's just the go button for these teams, and they get in there real quick and get it going. Off-White, though, taken down, and Dex, it does look like this fight is slowly but surely, I guess I spoke too soon. I cast your curse with it. Here comes Crabby Crabbers.
And slowly but surely, it should go over to 413 here, but as they allow more and more people to come back, and Than falling there is absolutely going to end that fight for 413 here. Now the Crabby Crabbers are going to have some time here to regroup while they wait for Than to get back into this fight. Both Anas do have their nanos ready to go here. However, I don't know who necessarily gets it here now anymore, since there's no Winston to dive in on. Maybe it goes to the Diva, maybe it goes to the Dragon Blade.
Absolutely. There's a lot of different approaches you can take here with that. I mean, Nano Diva tends to be a predominant strategy in a lot of these situations. It would not surprise me to see that there's the Nano Diva in, but a great sweep from Smax takes down the threat of Off-White there. Off-White still with that Nano in hand. Not going to be able to do anything with it. So one ability, two ultimates completely out of the picture here for 413. And just the disrespect from Yandere, not even moving while Off-White is trying to get out of there. That is some absolute disrespect.
Okay, but now we're coming into this next engagement. Hawkshaw and Retro have their two ultimates ready. The EMP into the bomb can be huge. Toyota does have their bomb ready as well. Fine does have their Dragon Blade ready as well. Halvar can pretty much keep their team alive as much as they can with that Transcendence, but it looks like 413's trying to find a pick before they really get anything started here. The EMP comes out, it's only onto the supports, while the Dragon Blade comes out from Fine.
Here comes the Dragon Blade from Fine, getting after the supports, but the Transcendence from Halvar is going to keep 413 afloat here. Iwatoda is getting that was Hawkshaw's self-destruct, keeping them from remeching with Iwatoda there. So the bomb not able to find anything and immediately punished from Iwatoda.
Yeah, now
oops, sorry, go on.
No, you say what you were gonna say.
The Dragon eat a sleep dart there, take a little nap, but not much going on. It's an interesting one. These fights have been not really decisive for either team at really any given point.
I mean, Dragon falling first here is exactly what 413 needs. You need to find the next kill, though. They cannot be trading anymore. Less than a minute on this first point. They don't even have a tick. So even with a team wipe here, Dragon would still be able to get back to contest this card. However, Dragon will get back into this fight relatively soon right now. Bomb is ready for Toyota, does come out and doesn't find anyone. Actually, Off-White is able to find them, and that should really be the go button for them. Down attack, now down support as well.
Off-White finds a couple there. Dragon does take down Off-White here. There goes Fine as well, and that is absolutely the kill that 413 needed to finally get this cart going in their favor. 413, a little later in the time bank, gonna have a lot less time to work with, but because of that great point B defense, you definitely cannot rule them out at this point.
Yeah, and honestly, they just cannot allow the Crabby Crabbers to do what 413 did on defense here. They cannot be stuck just past these doors right here. They have to get through the old western part of the old western streets as fast as they possibly can, because if they get stuck at this gate for about a minute and a half, it essentially every fight is last fight territory.
Every fight is last fight here for this 4-4-13 right now, trying to find a way to make this thing happen here. We get the high ground take there. Great biotic grenade from Sand, puts Uwatoda out of mech. Hawkshot gonna have to fall back here. Not really able to do much with that, but here comes the Dragon Blade now from Off-White. Finds another, but Fine answers with a Dragon Blade of their own. And at found 2, the battle of the Dragon Blade. It looks like both have found 3, but Fine wins the battle of the Genjis here. Self-destruct now used to get back into mech quickly for Hawkshaw, and they're gonna find Uwatoda, get them out of mech as well. So it looks like Hawkshaw is going to lead the way there off that great Dragon Blade from Off-White. And that means 413 Catalyst now definitely last fight territory here, trying to push that cart through.
Yeah, and Retro using their ultimate right there, not finding anyone with it other than a little bit of a damage there to end it is not what you want to see here. A little bit over a minute left to go. They only have to push the car about 20 more meters, but the spawn advantage has now flipped over to the Crabby Crabbers as Retro falls here early.
Retro down early here. That is a tough spot now for 413 down in UPF. You see caught out now is Off-White as well, going down here with only 60 seconds left. Not a whole lot of time left to work with for 413 Catalyst. They're going to have the Transcendence to get in here though, Dex. So by no means is this one over.
Yeah, by no means is it over, but that's essentially all they have to go into this one. Yandere will have their rally ready to go, and Dragon should have their ultimate ready to go as well for the Crabby Crabbers. And Hawkshaw not being able to take that elevator might hurt them a little bit as we see the dive come in, and the 413 team here needs to pick up the first kill, and they don't.
Not able to find that first kill is 413. 20 seconds left on the clock here. They're going to try to get a quick reset, but Halvar gets caught as the aggression now comes in from Crabby Crabbers with 15 seconds left on the clock. Not a whole lot of time left to work with. You see Retro on the Sombra is going to have to go in and get the touch as 413 tries to go all the way back to spawn to get everybody back up to speed. Retro on the cart right now, trying to get that cart moving in a direction, but we see Dragon does take down Retro here. So no Retro means nobody on the cart, and the Crabby Crabbers will manage to hold on here with a great point B defense of their own, and they will take the lead here 2-0 going into halftime.
Yeah, kind of like I said here, as Fine has the play of the game. I believe it will be one of their Dragon Blades. Maybe that last one when it was dueling Dragon Blades, and it is that one. They were able to pick up 2 kills right away and then pick up, I believe it was Off-White just as their Dragon Blade ran out. But as I kind of said, that choke point right there has been something I really start to see teams really hold up against. Normally you see a team lose one fight, they kind of fall back and play around the corner of that bank there. However, teams are now more confident pushing that pushing up into that into the streets of the old western town there, and I really like to see that. And we did see 413 Catalyst have a great defensive hold there. They held it for a very, very long time. Crabby Crabbers only need to hold it for about 2.5 minutes, and it really shows. It really showed there with just how much time the Crabbers need to defend it for compared to what 413 had to.
Absolutely great performance there from Crabby Crabbers on that point. Once again, as a reminder, we're continuing to collect donations for Rise Above the Disorder for this week. Rise Above the Disorder is on a mission to make mental health care accessible to everyone, everywhere. They will help people find the mental health treatments that they need. And for those unable to afford it, they do cover the cost. They help people regardless of their health insurance or budget, because everyone deserves to get that mental health that they need. So we hope you'll join us today and consider making a donation to this important cause. And you can get a link to donate by typing !donate in our chat. Let's get some more donations coming in here tonight for Rise Above the Disorder, everybody. We're going to go into a halftime break here. We will see you in 10 minutes. More 413 and Crabby just around the corner.
Welcome back, everybody. No, the quality of your stream has not changed. Mystery Eddie, unfortunately, has had to go out for a little bit. I'm taking over his place. I'm Bowsy, joined back here by Dexatron as we head into our third map here for our match. 413 Catalyst versus Crabby Crabbers. Currently up 2-0 for the Crabby Crabbers here, Dex.
Yeah, and so far through those first two maps of Busan and Hollywood, the Crabby Crabbers have seemed to be a very, very dominant team. However, 413 Catalyst has shown signs of being a team that can get over that hump and beat the Crabby Crabbers. Throughout both maps so far, they just haven't been able to get over the biggest hump of actually taking a map against these teams. However, hopefully this next map will be the one that they're finally able to get over that hump. And for the first time, we will be seeing one of the new maps here in Overwatch 2 of Circuit Royale.
Absolutely, Circuit Royale is the next map. It's also worth noting, as we go into this map, every single match win the 413 Catalyst has had this season has come in a map 5 situation. They've always won 3-2, so the potential of a reverse sweep is there right now for 413 Catalyst. They definitely could try to make an impression here and try to get the reverse sweep win over the Crabby Crabbers here heading into our third map.
Yeah, but to start that reverse sweep, they need to take a map right now. And if they don't take Circuit Royale, then the Crabby Crabbers will end up winning the series. We will still play a fourth map. However, they need to pick up this map right now if they want to try to have any hope at starting that reverse sweep.
Absolutely. So we'll see if they're able to start it off here on Circuit Royale as we're about to head into the map. And we're going to see what these two teams are going to bring out. 413 Catalyst on the defense, Crabby Crabbers on the attack. I mean, it's interesting to see. We've seen a lot of different compositions from Overwatch League to even Harmony Tier EU playing on this map and even Harmony Tier NA. And right now, it looks like we're seeing the side of 413 Catalyst on the defense popping out the Widow Soldier.
Yeah, an interesting composition. Actually, wait, let me rephrase that. That's actually not a very interesting composition to see come out on the defensive side, at least, because Widow, with the long sight lines at the first little stretch of Circuit Royale really does play into Widow a lot, especially and Sojourn as well. And we're seeing the Crabby Crabbers come out with a Widow as well. Fine, kind of teasing us with an Ashe, maybe even a Pharah, who they're currently sitting on right now. However, other than the one difference in Smacks now makes actually. I was gonna say we're looking at almost close to a mirror match, but we're seeing a lot of late second swaps come out from the Crabby Crabbers. But Dragon strikes first and finds Halvar.
Yeah, beautiful first fire breath coming out from Dragon, finding that first pick onto Halvar here for the side of 413. So down one of your support players definitely could be catastrophic here for 413 Catalyst. They have to try and back up. Now it's just going to be on Dragon and Retro to try and find the next shot here. If it's going to be able to push the other team across the line. The jump shot for Dragon almost gets Retro's head chopped clean off, but is unable to do it right now, as it looks like Crabby Crabbers will push the cart a little bit.
Yeah, and with finding that first pick there on the Halvar, it really did force 413 to back up a little bit. And now on this high ground right now, we are going to see eToyota try to just get as much damage as they can. Do not have a shield. Now they want to go onto the lower ground here to fight the 413 squad right now, but eToyota is able to get rid of that immortality field, so now we can start to see some kills come out. However, the kills come out for Off-White and 413.
Yeah, definitely Off-White. Good kill there with that rail shot onto Fine here. Fine obviously having the Ashe for a lot more damage, and now Retro able to get the headshot onto Dragon as well. So it looks like it's going to be 413 Catalyst, those two DPS picks, finding them the first victory here in this fight.
Yeah, and look at that. After those two picks, you immediately see the Crabbers back off here away from the cart. That will allow 413 to really get reset up here on this high ground. But we do see eToyota up there with Hawkshaw kind of just having a battle of the Sigmas, as both put their shields towards the rest of their teams just so that they're not getting any more damage thrown their way. But we do see Hawkshaw dive off of that high ground to start. eToyota does have their Flux ready to go if they do want to pop it. Than also does have their damage matrix.
Definitely. So we'll see what the move is here. The Flux comes out first from Iwatoda, as you see the two people caught inside. Looks like Retro and Than were caught. Dragon, however, finds the pick off an Off-White, but Off-White also finds the pick on the Dragon with that diffuser shot. Hawkshaw also finds the kill on the call here, or Hawkshaw finds the kill on the Fine here, excuse me, as 413 Catalyst continuing this hold here on the first corner or the second corner of Circuit Royale.
Yeah, Hawkshaw's going to hold on to this Flux. No reason for them to use it right now, and honestly, that Flux could be a fight ender, especially as they know Yandere is getting incredibly close to that Transcendence. Probably want to try to force that out before they use it, and that Disruptor shot might be able to take down eToyota, but they're able to escape with their lives for the moment. Now, Hawkshaw's going to pop their Flux.
And Yandere very conservative there on the Transcendences, uses a little bit late there after the lamp from Smackus was used. Halvar able to find the pickoff on Define, however, switch over to the Genji. So we'll see if it makes any sort of impact here as Crabby Crabbers start moving the cart. The overclock is used here from Off-White, trying to find a pick here with this Sojourn Railguns. Unable to find anything thus far, but it does pressure Crabby Crabbers back. And now that late kill into eToyota and Yandere will set the tone for 4-1-3 Catalyst.
Dragon, though, is able to find 2. That might be good for them right now. Dragon finds a third!
Yep, Dragon says, this card is my horde and you are not allowed to take it. Starts getting 3 headshots here for the side of Crabby Crabbers, turning it around. It looks like the Crabby Crabbers just have to deal with Hawkshaw right now in order to try and get the first point here.
Yeah, Dan is also there to help Hawkshaw out, and now we're starting to see the rest of the 413 team come back. However, Off-White immediately gets told no by Dragon.
Yeah, Off-White gets turned off as Crabby Crabbers taking the aggression right now. Retro able to finally slay the Dragon here and get the headshot on that opposing Widowmakers, but Crabby Crabbers still very close to capping this first point here. The Blade comes out here from Fine. No nano boost to assist it, but does get the dash kill onto Retro. Now the deflect onto Halvar, trying to eliminate the Zenyatta, but Zenyatta has the kick, though, keeping themselves alive in it, but it's still going to be the kill going the way of Crabby Crabbers. Smack is helping out there. Hawkshaw also dead here as eToyota switches over to the Orisa, uses that spear in order to try and eliminate more targets, but now all of a sudden is Off-White. They will die to Fine, and the first point goes to the Crabby Crabbers.
Yeah, and honestly, the Crabby Crabbers have to really be thanking Dragon a lot for this first point cap here, because if they did not find those 3 headshots, they're probably looking at, you know, not even capping first point and going to that defensive side for what could have been an easy push for 413 Catalyst there, but now they're on their way to the second point, and Dragon's gonna stay on this Widowmaker that has been absolutely terrifying so far this match.
Dragon has always been known as a terrifying player here in Tranquility, but now here comes that the ultimate coming out from eToyota, able to get the kill onto Off-White with it, as Fine trying to clean up the scraps of Hawkshaw, and it's going to be another reset here for 413 Catalyst. Crabby Crabbers starting to push through the second section very easily, which is not easy to do here, Dex.
Yeah, no, it is not, but I like the swap going out from eToyota to that Orisa, and we saw why. We saw a lot of it there with that ultimate that they used. They're able to pick up 1 kill and really did force Retro does find Dragon, though, with some help from their ultimate. However, that card is getting really, really close. Hawkshaw does have a Flux here. I imagine it will be used in this fight.
We'll have to see. You already see the Crabby Crabbers backing out, and Fine getting picked off as well. It's going to be a save for this Flux from Hawkshaw, actually.
Honestly, you know what? That's probably the smartest thing to do here. Oh, just a little over a minute left to go. Really no ultimates ready for the Crabby Crabbers. Hawkshaw is the only one with their ultimate ready to go at the moment. They probably want to try to build up some ultimates for their team as well right now. So it's just not going to leave them in a bad spot when they do use it. However, team is getting low. They're going to be forced to use it here. They do get 2 as Retro finds 1 and Than will find a second.
Yeah, absolutely. Retro also picked out a lot of aggression there. Almost got picked off by eToyota, but still, the kills all going in favor here for 413 Catalyst. All that's left is that Orisa. They're going to retreat, and it's going to be pretty much last fight territory here for Crabby Crabbers.
Yeah, but some swaps coming out. eToyota going to the Winston now. Smack's going over to an Ana. That's going to be interesting to see. Fine is very, very close to that Dragon Blade. And we did see what they were able to find a kill with it last time. Halvar did do a good job just kind of kicking them away so they didn't die faster than what they eventually did end up dying to. But Fine's gone, so no Dragon Blade will be ready to go this fight.
Yeah, that is not fine here for the Crabby Crabbers, trying to find any sort of advantage. You do not want to lose that DPS with ultimate online that quickly. Now Crabby Crabbers need to try and touch within these 5 seconds in order to keep the push cushion going. You see the jump coming in from eToyota, gets booped away, but it's still able to touch. Overtime triggered here for the Crabby Crabbers. The window invested here from Stan to try and separate the members of the Crabby Crabbers. Off-White pulls out the Blade, gets rid of Dragon before the beat from Yandere is launched. Now the Blade comes out from Fine, able to find Stan, make that 2 from Fine. Full eliminates both supports here for the side of 4-3 Catalyst, and now Off-White is dead as well. Retro's starting to get pressured out as well, and it looks like it's going to be Crabby Crabbers taking this second point as long as they can deal with Hawkshaw, and they will.
Yeah, Retro's running away at this point. The second point will go over to the Crabby Crabbers now, as we do see eToyota try to get a little bit more pressure and a little bit more forced fallback there from Catalyst. Not able to, but we do see Off-White dive in on that high ground. And I thought it was almost going to cost them there, but they're able to escape.
Absolutely. Now 413 Catalyst try to make their way to keep defending here. Rally comes out early here from Halvar to try to push the aggression, while Utoda gets burned down a lot there, almost uses the Primal Rage. Interesting to see the swap onto the Tracer here from Dragon, but it might work a lot more favor in this very narrow corridors of this final point, or he can just get sniped out by Retro there on the Widowmaker, taking the high ground advantage, being able to get the headshot right on the Tracer, just like in that King's Row clip, or at least in an alternate reality. Utoda uses the Primal Rage, able to get the kill on the Halvar, but at what cost?
At what cost? I mean, they're almost taking down 2 members. Retro finally able to take care of them now. A little over 30 seconds left to go. We do see the 413 Catalyst squad here on the card. They're going to play it very, very closely now. Neither team really has any ultimates ready to go. Dragon now swapping back over to the Widowmaker. The Tracer did not work out as good as they were probably hoping for. Than does have that damage matrix ready to go. Hawkshaw is close to another Flux, and that's really about it. Fine is the next close one, but they do find Retro out.
Yeah, absolutely. Retro and Dragon both gone. Both Widowmakers out of the fight here, so it's all going to be close range. The amplification matrix used here by Than, as is the Gravitic Flux coming out from Hawkshaw. We'll see if it does any sort of damage. No kills resulted thus far, but now Fine dies to Than. As I say that, Off-White able to eliminate Smacks as well, and now the Blade comes out from Off-White to eliminate both of the remaining members of Crabby Crabbers. The Crabby Crabbers push will stop there, and it's going to be a hold there from 413 Catalyst. 48 meters taken by the Crabby Crabbers on that second point.
Yeah, but like I said before, those 3 kills that we saw from Dragon on that first point really allowed them to get as far as they did. Because I believe if we did not see those kills come out from them, that they really struggled to get that first point. I believe 413 could hold them. And now 413 has to play into a much, much harder round here. They need to push the card further than what the Crabby Crabbers did. And so far, this entire series, the Crabby Crabbers have always been able to respond to what 413 has been able to do a little bit better than what 413 did to the Crabbers. So now it's all up to see how good, and I'm going to put a big emphasis on the Widows again this time around. Retro and Dragon. If Dragon does come out on the Widow, as we do see them come out on the Widow, both Widows here are going to play a big role in this one, because like I said, and like I mentioned before at the start of this, the only reason that the Crabby Crabbers got as far as they did was because of the Widow play from Dragon. Retro needs to mimic or even do better than what Dragon did.
Absolutely. The Widow Duel definitely is a factor here on Circuit Royale. You want to get those early pickoffs, especially in Overwatch 2, where it's a 5v5 situation and one pick could decide the entire fight. So we'll see what the choices here are from both sides. Obviously, 413 Catalyst, they want to come out on this Widowmaker. We do see the Sojourn this time from Crabby Crabbers. We didn't see it on the attack last time. We saw them go for an Ashe, but now we see Fine going over to that Sojourn, which means most likely they're going to try to build up those rails. Off-White playing the Genji, which I think is a good move here. We saw a lot of strong performance from that Genji, but now it's just a clash between the Widowmakers as well as the Sigmas, trying to find that opening pick, which is going to take a little bit here, Dex.
Yeah, and honestly, I like the pick here for Yandere onto that Mercy. You don't want one random headshot to really end your team's entire fight. So if they're able to get that res back up, it will keep that team up and going again. As we see Dragon, though, take care of Retro to start the killing here on this round.
Absolutely beautiful jump shot coming out there from Dragon. This is what I kind of like about Overwatch 2. You just get this opportunity to see Widowmaker's frag, especially on Circuit Royale, a map that was designed for a Widowmaker right now. 2 picks in favor of Crabby Crabbers. They'll get a hold.
Yeah, and honestly, right now, 413 really need to try to figure something out here. While the Crabby Crabbers did pretty much use up all the time bank they had to cap the first point, 413 needs to have as much time as they possibly can, and Dragon, again, just being a menace right now. Fine trying to get some damage done here with that rail, but not able to land one.
Absolutely. We'll see if Fine's damage does enough here, as Dragon's able to pick out Halvar, but Retro able to get the kill on the Smackers, which will force out the res here from Yandere. So Crabby Crabbers, obviously, that Mercy showing its potential right now, but we'll see if it works out into their favor as the match goes on here. As 413 Catalyst start pushing underneath this archway section, the amplification matrix comes out here from Smackers, and Fine finds the rail shot onto Than early here. So 413 Catalyst down another support here. They might need to back out from this fight.
Yeah, they have to back out of this fight. They cannot lose another person right now. But like I said before it all got started here, Yandere on that Mercy is going to play a big role. Dragon falls. That is what they need. That's the one person they need to find. That has been the one person that's been doing the most damage to him. Now we're going to see Hawkshaw pop their Graviton Flux here. They get 3. This could be huge. And it is. And they find Dragon, who just got res right back into this fight.
Right back up from the grave and then get sent right back down into it. Off-White also uses the blade here to eliminate Smackers here, and now looks like an opening has transpired here for 413 Catalyst, finding 2 kills with that Dragon Blade. All they need to do is find Fine and Yandere here on the Mercy, and they'll continue pushing this card and might be able to cap point A.
Yeah, they should be able to cap point A here. Off-White's going to go up there, be very aggressive, try to bait out that shot there from Dragon, but Dragon waited it out perfectly. But however, that will allow 413 here to cap the first point. Fine and Iwatota do have their ultimates ready to go. Than is really the only one ready to go for 413. So it's going to be interesting, this team fight, to see what happens. Itoyo is going to probably want to use that Flux here early, and they do. I believe they find 2 with it.
Absolutely, Iwatota do very early engage here for Crabby Crabbers, but you want to get that with this high ground. 3 picks thus far, 2 courtesy, make that 3 courtesy of Dragon right now. Dragon, again, we're seeing the potential of this Widowmaker duel, and right now Dragon putting a foothold in it.
Yeah, and like I said before this round started, it was really all going to come down to the Widow plays on this round. If Dragon could be the better Widow, their team is going to be in the driver's seat, and pun intended, on this map. If Retro was going to be the better Widow, then it could be a lot easier for 413. However, Dragon has been the more dominant Widow so far, and Off-White in a very, very bad position, gets poisoned and is only on 1 health, but will get healed right back up. And now we see Widow has their ultimate ready to go, and they do pop it here early in this engagement.
Yeah, Retro does not have their Infrasight online either, so it's going to be difficult. But Dragon gets eliminated by Off-White, so that Infrasight immediately knocked out. Fine able to get the kill onto Hawkshaw, and Off-White gets killed out by Yandere, who gets the res back onto Dragon. The Battle Mercy coming in clutch when it matters the most. Crabby Crabbers looks like they're going to be continuing their hold here on point B, especially with this high ground control.
Yeah, now Retro's in a very, very bad spot on this Widowmaker right now. Not a lot of long sightlines, but they do find Dragon. Iwatota does find Thanos. The stuff all does really even out there, but Off-White is trying to do as much as they possibly can in the back line there. They do take care of Yandere, however, Hawkshaw does fall.
Absolutely, it's really a back and forth affair right now. The Immortality Field is used here by Smackers, which gives Off-White the opportunity to use this blade. Doesn't get anything with it yet, but is able to cut down Fine now. Iwatota able to get the kill onto them, but still, the damage has already been done. But as I say that, Iwatota able to get the kill into Hawkshaw here. Suddenly, 413 Catalyst have to retreat. They've lost enough members to give the win over to the Crabby Crabbers.
Yeah, honestly, Hawkshaw diving in there. I understand, you thought you had a numbers advantage, but the spawns were coming back for the Crabby Crabbers. A little bit over a minute and a half. You need to be smart. There are 3 ultimates ready for the Crabby Crabbers. I imagine we are going to see probably the damage measures come out early in this engagement. And again, Hawkshaw just diving in, has to pop their Primal Rager to keep themselves alive. And now here comes the Flux from Iwatota.
Yep, only lands onto Retro there, so eliminates that Mercy early. But Halvar, as you notice, switch over to the Mercy. So now 413 Catalyst have their own Resurrect online. They're able to use that on Retro and bring that Widowmaker back early. Off-White, however, not having a great time. Gets meleeed by Dragon in a very weird high ground scenario. Dragon almost gets headshot there by Retro and already has to back out from it. It's 413 Catalyst rounding this final quarter here almost on point B. They might be able to cap this if they're given enough time.
Yeah, under a minute left to go now. Dragon's the only one with an ultimate ready to go. It's not fight changing, but does allow them to see where everyone is for 413 Catalyst. Hawkshaw getting incredibly low right now. Off-White actually swapping over to the Sombra could be big for them, but Hawkshaw falling, that has to force a fallback here from 413. They cannot continue to lose people like this, and they're just feeding now into them. Halvar and Than both fall. I imagine that's going to probably mean that they're both swapping here, but Off-White in a very, very bad spot. He's just getting punched to death by Than. Or by
Fine. Yeah, by Fine they were getting punched. But I would imagine it would not be fun getting punched to death by your own teammate. But Crabby Crabbers now in a very strong position. 13 seconds left on the clock. The overclock is used here by Fine. But Dragon falls to Hawkshaw, who switches over to the Diva. So the potential is here for 413 Catalyst. They have to try and contest this cart. 5 seconds on the clock. Hawkshaw will be there for the touch, and now overtime will be triggered. And Mortality Field used pretty early as well here from Smackers. So the potential is there. 413 Catalyst coming near that second checkpoint right now. They just need to find kills into their favor. Finds disruptor shot, however, might cause some problems into that, but Dragon gets hacked, almost gets burnt down by Off-White, but is able to stay alive thanks to the support of Yandere on that Mercy. Once again, Dragon gets hacked as 413 Catalysts are trying to find any sort of opening, but now the Flux comes out from Iwatoda, able to land 2 up in the air. No kills resulted from, however, but Halvar is extremely low on the Lucio, trying to stay alive, but the heals are there from Dan, but Dragon finds the kill, but it's a 5-man EMP, laid it off from Off-White, trying to finish it out here. The bomb from Hawkshaw also trying to do the job, will eliminate the immortality from Smackers, and the rest of 413 Catalysts trying to continue their push here. Retro on the Tracer trying to pressure out the Baptiste of Smackers, but they will eventually fall to Smackies as a result. Hawkshaw, the only one left on the card, along with some other teammates trying to get the kills, and they are able to find the Baptiste of Smackies. Now the hack onto Iwatoda is going to give Crabby Crabbers a lot more pressure. They might not be able to get the hold here as 413 Catalysts bring it to 1 meter away to try and cap the second point. All that's left is Dragon here on the Tracer. They are less than half health, and they will end up dying. The second point goes to 413 Catalysts.
What a resilient fight there from 413 Catalyst. Losing Halvar early in that engagement, I kind of thought that might have been the nail in the coffin, but they're able to stay alive, and that huge EMP from Off-White really did help them out there. However, Fine does have their ultimate ready to go. Itoyo does get hacked there, but they will not fall for it. Just a little bit over a minute left to go. Neither team really has ultimates. Fine does have theirs ready to go. Retro is close. Hawkshaw and Off-White can both get theirs really fast. Same thing as Stan. But we just have to see smart plays come out from this 413 Catalyst side. They cannot make any dumb decisions right now.
We have to see if this Crabby Crabber swap, they recently made the swap over to the Zarya here from Iwatoda, will be able to help, but Dragon finds the first kill onto Halvar. Right now, 413 Catalyst need to retreat, and you already see that their Ana of Fan will also get pressured out. It has to be a retreat here from 413 Catalyst.
Yeah, but they did get Fine to use their ultimate there, so no fully charged railgun shots fast for them. Toyota, though, is really, really close to that grab. Dragon does have that pulse bomb ready to go. Retro's about to have their own pulse bomb ready to go as well. Fan does have the nano as well, so it's going to be interesting to see who it goes on to, as both sides are now going over to Zarya, and Retro just melts Dragon. Everybody wastes the pulse bomb.
Yeah, beautiful melt there. Beautiful sighting from Retro to know that the Tracer was there and just melt down Dragon before he has the chance to use the Pulse Bomb. However, he ends up falling to Fine here, so it's going to be even here. Crabby Crabbers still need to hold this, but it's a 2-man EMP coming out from Off-White. It missed the Zarya, but was able to hit the Sojourn and the Baptiste. Overtime now triggered here, as only 3 meters separate the 413 Catalyst from getting this map, but Iwatoda has the Graviton Surge to try and shut it out. Retro's the only remaining person right now on the point. Than is also on the Ana, but they're starting to get pressured out by the rest of the Crabby Crabbers, and the Crabby Crabbers holding off 413 Catalyst with 3 meters left. The Crabby Crabbers will go 3-0 entering map number 4. They take the series.
Yeah, overall, like I've been saying this entire series, it's been really, really close. One fight has been the difference throughout these 3 maps. Dragon getting the play of the game here, and I would not be surprised. Yes, this is by far probably the play of the game. 3 straight kills coming out from Dragon, basically turned around their first offensive push, because look how much time was left when this happened. Less than a minute left to go, and that was such a huge play coming out from Dragon. It turned everything around for the Crabby Crabbers there, and like you said, they will now be 500 on the season, same as 413 Catalyst with these wins and losses. But just overall, really, really close games. One fight going a different way is basically been the difference on all 3 maps. If we see, I believe it is Retro, or no, Off-White get that EMP to land on that Zarya there, we could be looking at something completely different right now. But because it did not land on that Zarya, they're able to keep that grab and get rid of the last remaining stragglers of 413 Catalyst out, and allowed them to win that map.
Absolutely, 413 Catalyst, a lot of strong performance, but just haven't been able to have that clutch factor. You mentioned it before we actually went into our 3rd map. It just wasn't the case. And now you see it here, Crabby Crabbers being able to take advantage of that, be able to make that late switch to the Zarya and be able to finish it out and get that 3-0. But there still is a 4th map to play. We have our push map coming up. Of course, here in Tranquility during the regular season, we always play 4 maps. We play like the Overwatch League Season 1 rules, because it seems like the best way to determine map differential, especially in such a short season. And the choice from 413 Catalyst is Toronto. We're going over to New Queen Street for our final map of the series.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. This will be the first time I'm actually casting a push map. And from with the little experience that I have on New Queen Street, it really all comes down to, well, playing around the bot. You can't really push too far ahead, because if you push too far ahead and get completely dominated by the other team, you're already putting your team at such a disadvantage, especially if it's the tank who's pushing ahead. You just cannot do that. It's not like a normal escort or a hybrid map where you can kind of send a lot of members of your team up to kind of fight off the other team for a little bit and have one person sitting on that card. I just don't think that's the scenario here with push.
Absolutely. Push is definitely an interesting mode. Of course, being added for Overwatch 2, it has a lot of different variables to it, and we'll have to see if those variables come into play here as we head into what will be our final map of the game, and which team's going to be able to come out. Will 413 Catalyst be able to show that they're either that they can get a map win, even when lost in the series, or a Crabby Crabbers, I believe, going to get their first sweep of the season here? I could actually check that right now while I mention that.
Yeah, but as you're talking about that, like, one of the things that me and Yeti talked about going into this map was the Crabby Crabbers picked up that last win in the final week of Overwatch 1 season. Now they're coming here and kind of continuing that momentum they built up there. The two players that they signed towards the end, or they picked up towards the later part of Overwatch 1 of Dragon and Smokey. We haven't seen Smokey, but Dragon has been such a key player for them. And we saw there in that last map, those 3 kills they got to kind of extend and get that cart to the first point was such a big play and such a game-changing thing on that last map. And Dragon has just been kind of a solid rock for this Crabby Crabbers team from what I've seen so far.
Absolutely. So Dragon definitely a really good pickup. Smokey, we haven't seen a lot of them thus far, but obviously a really strong pickup. Was a linchpin on Chicago Deep Dish back in Discord tier, and it's great to see that he made the way up to Transcendence tier. While we're waiting for the map to start up, there are obviously other Transcendence tier matches going on throughout the night, and there are some updates for those as well. Over in the elimination pool, it's between Palm Beach Poggers and Lijiang Legion, a 4-0 win for the Palm Beach Poggers. Meanwhile, over in that same pool, Death Cards versus Oath, a 4-0 win for the Death Cards. Obviously, of course, you are watching Crabby Crabbers versus 413 Catalyst, which is 3-0 right now in favor of the Crabby Crabbers. Over in the pool B, Frost Fisher versus Arctic Foxes is currently in a map 5 situation. Over in Pool A, Decapitators versus Amnesia went 3-2 in favor of the Decapitators. And finally, in Pool A, Guangzhou Gangsters versus Sydney Sunsets. The first map loss by the Guangzhou Gangsters this season, but they still were able to win 3-1 as we head over into New Queen Street with the compositions we see right now from both sides here, Dex.
Yeah, honestly, I don't believe what we're seeing from the Crabby Crabbers is going to be what we come out with. Itoyota or Itoda on that ball would be an interesting choice for them, and they're sticking on it at the moment, so they already have that series win in the bag. Maybe they're just trying to have a little bit of fun here as they do actually roll out of spawn with the ball.
I mean, the Wrecking Ball can do a really good job at disruption. We'll have to see if that's going to be the case, especially when your DPS duo is Sombra Genji. So you want to rely on that disruption. You want to rely on enabling those dives here from Fine. So we'll see if Iwatoda is able to do exactly that. I do love Bizarria. I mean, people who know me know Bizarria one trick. So we'll see if Hawkshaw is able to live up to the name. But the dive comes in along with that hack, and you already see the impact of this Wrecking Ball pile driving everybody, bringing them all close together, and Than gets killed as a result here thanks to Fine. But definitely, it probably could work here for the side of Crabby Crabbers, just wanting to disrupt the enemy team as they start moving the bot forward.
Yeah, now you see the ball kind of go back to the bot as their whole team kind of regroups right now. But Off-White on this high ground here is going to try to rain in some damage while the rest of their team comes back out on to the low ground here and actually picks up the first kill.
Yeah, absolutely. Hawkshaw able to get that kill on the Smackies, but now Halvar dies to Fine as well, so no Lucios on both sides, but Retro able to get the headshot without the railgun shot, mind you. That was a normal headshot with the projectile, not with the railgun, so a great start there from Retro. Now Iwatoda obviously playing against a Sombra, or I'm sorry, I'm messing up the teams. Regardless of which, it's going to be 413 Catalyst bringing the robot back to point 0 and start pushing the barricade for themselves.
Yeah, but we do see some members of the Crabby Crabbers off in the distance, the ball, and I believe this Lucio as well. And because of how this map is set up, we could see the Crabby Crabbers really contest this card here soon as they're about to let 413 take the lead. And we do see the contest just before they take the lead right now. Itoda is actually really, really close to dying here, able to get some health back as Retro picks up the first kill, but here comes the Blade from Fine.
You have the Blade from Fine able to eliminate Halvar, but Off-White has that tactical visor as well to eliminate 3. The late pick onto Iwatoda is going to make 413 have 413 Catalyst push the bot into the lead here with 25 meters and counting.
Yeah, and right now Itoda is gonna stick on that ball for the moment. That cart or the bot is getting really, really close to the first resting place for it. But the minefield is ready for Itoda right now. We could see that come in. Yandere does have the Coalescence ready to go, but I imagine they're kind of waiting to group that up with maybe an EMP or something else into a team fight here. But here we go. Itoda pile driving through, dropping the mines.
Yeah, Retro also unleashes the overclock here, so we'll see if it's able to result in the cores. But Iwatoda finds the kill onto Halval to start. Fan able to get the headshot kill onto Fine here, so it's still an even affair here, albeit Forward Catalyst down one of their critical supports and trying to keep the second one alive as Stan almost gets picked off. The bot does get turned around, it seems like, before the checkpoint, so it looks like that Forward Catalyst running into an interesting situation. The EMP from Dragon using the Graviton ends up getting killed out for it, though, but it's going to be 413 Catalyst capping the first checkpoint here, which means quick spawns for the side of Crabby Crappers.
Yeah, I don't understand why they use that EMP there, but I mean, we could be seeing it right now. Dragon making a swap over to Sojourn right now, and Itoda actually switching over to Junker Queen. Dragon does pick up a kill here onto Than, and that could be what they were looking for, just one kill, especially onto a support. And they pick up Hawkshell, so now they're down a support and a tank. That's exactly what they were probably looking for, as Itoda lands a headshot there with their gun and a knife kill.
Yeah, Iwatoda here on this Junker Queen. I am also a big Junker Queen fan, so I'm glad to see Junker Queen used here in Tranquility in the Transcendence tier. But nonetheless, it's going to be a return fight here coming out from the Crabby Crabbers. They will deny that close spawn from the side of 413 Catalyst, but the 413 Catalyst are all spawned up and ready to fight close.
Yeah, Off-White having that visor is going to be huge here. Really nothing that can stop him other than Smacka's beat, but that can only prolong their deaths with that visor right now, because visor has been very, very big in this game so far. But we are trying to see, they are trying to take care of Off-White to start here, but here he goes with the visor.
Yeah, visor comes out, but Iwatoda already unleashes the axe onto two members with that Junker Queen. Axe wins, Axe wins, 413 Catalyst lose. Crabby Crabbers get a team kill.
And that should allow them here to get to the first little resting place. And now we're starting to see them actually kind of move up a little bit to contest 413 as they come out of their spawn. Actually, they might be able to contest it just before the bot gets to that resting spot. However, a swap or trade coming out from both teams right now. Off-White falls, but Smackers falls for the Crabby Crabbers.
Yeah, that's not good for the side of Crabby Crabbers. Because they hit the checkpoint, Off-White gets a very quick respawn. It's basically like if you remember 2CP spawns, where there was the 2 seconds when you cap the first point. That's exactly what happens when you cap the checkpoint here on push. And you already see it biting Crabby Crabbers a little bit in the butt, or at least pinching them in the butt. Retro able to get that kill into Yandere, and now Fine falling. Crabby Crabbers are going to have to retreat.
Yeah, and you're kind of seeing everyone, all the remaining members of the Crabby Crabbers kind of go in and just, you know, accept death there for a moment. But they're all going to respawn. If the bot does not get to the middle point, they're all going to respawn at that advanced little stage right there. But now they will not be able to. But Itoda does have their ultimate ready to go. But 2 ultimates that could easily counteract that for 413 are ready to go. And they do use one of them there.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 ults, 2 people were caught by that rampage, which wasn't really enough, and the beat was used by Halvar to negate it. Yandere and Halvar fall, so both teams missing a support here. Yoda tries to use the axe, but ends up getting picked out by Hawkshaw and Off-White on the off angle. So Forward Catalyst is going to continue moving the bot, and they will be able to bring that bot back to the first checkpoint and start moving that barricade farther from the Crabby Crabbers.
Yeah, Hawkshaw very close here to the grab. Dragon does have their ultimate ready to go. Fine is close to another blade, and Yandere close to a rally. So everything in this next team fight should be pointing towards a Crabby Crabbers win if they do everything smart. And Fine picking up Off-White is a good start to it, and Dragon fighting Halvar is the even better one.
Absolutely. 2 great picks here from the side of Crabby Crabbers. Being able to eliminate them quickly and effectively is all you need to do. All that's left is Hawkshaw on that Zarya. Looks like the remaining members of the 413 Catalyst all backing up. But Crabby Crabbers will get control of the bot again. They did give 413 Catalyst their close spawn, and all of them will be able to get that close spawn, but it's all about how they react to it.
Yeah, and actually Dragon was looking up there, potentially waiting for some of them to come out of that high one, but instead Dragon's gonna pop the blade here.
Yeah, Fine being able to pop the blade here, is able to get the kill into Halvar, and the Immortality Field is also burnt down. Hawkshaw with 1 health remaining, trying to stay alive, trying to get any sort of support from the remainder of the 413 supports that are alive. And it looks like they will not be able to. Dragon hits them with the rail shot. 3 kills for Dragon at the end of that fight. And it looks like Crabby Crabbers will be able to get the lead for themselves.
Yeah, just as 3 minutes are left in this one, if neither one of the teams can actually push the bot all the way to its final spot. Only the Visor ready for off-white as they fall there early. Really no other ultimates ready to go. Both supports are very, very close to it. But other than that, off-white really falling there early really does hurt 413.
Absolutely. 413 looking for some sort of advantage here. They do have that Visor, and now Off-White will use it here as they try to push the advance. Smackies dies first, which is big because Smackies has the beat online. Make that a second kill for Off-White in this fight. Now both supports gone for the side of the Crabby Crabbers. Make that Fine gone as well. Drag it in your backline somehow, but it's going to be a win here for 413 Catalyst, and they'll send the bot back in the opposite direction.
Yeah, but the Crabby Crabbers here should be able to get that advanced spawn and meet the 413 Catalyst squad here at about the halfway point. Than is really the only person that has their ultimate ready for 413s here. So coming in this next fight, that damage range has to be huge. Smacky's still holding on their ult. Toyota and Dragon both close to theirs, and Dragon takes care of Off-White here, Star.
Yeah, absolutely. A big stopping here from the side of Crabby Crabbers. They made sure that the bot could not get to that midpoint as Retro tried to find a little bit more kills. Able to kill Dragon there with that Genji, trying to find the kill onto Smackies, but Smackies just comes up from above, straight from the top ropes, boops out Retro, and now Crabby Crabbers finding 3 kills in that fight. They're going to start rotating the bot back in the opposite direction.
Yeah, just about 90 seconds left to go in this fight, and everything is starting to point towards the Crabby Crabbers winning this one right now. If you ask me, just a long distance for that bot to go all the way back for 413 Catalyst, but I have seen some crazy stuff happen on these push maps. In my own games, Dragon, though, does have that ultimate ready to go. Snack is still holding on that beat. We'll use it now to start everything off here.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the response to Retro using their blade. Now Retro's blade not able to find anything. Fine unleashes his own, and Iwatoda able to find the kill onto Hawkshaw, who is very close to that Rampage, which is now the only ult apart from that beat that 413 Catalyst have. Crabby Crabbers will be able to gain control of this card with a minute left, and they might be in good set here to try and win this map.
Yeah, even if we do see 413 come back out and contest it, you know, it is very, very well in favor of the Crabby Crabbers at the moment. Hawkshaw and Halvar do have their ultimates ready. Hawkshaw actually very close to whiffed. Actually, no, they do hit 2 with their ultimate right there, but still a huge numbers advantage now for 413 as they're all coming out. Smackus falls, Van and Halvar fall for 413, however, so the numbers are starting to go back in favor for the Crabby Crabbers.
Yeah, Crabby Crabbers might be able to finish this map while they're at it. A team kill for the Crabby Crabbers. And everybody joining the Crabby Crabbers, guess what? The Crabby Crabbers have joined the 4-0 club in Tranquility Gaming Transcendence tier.
Crab raves in the chat. The Crabby Crabbers, like you said, completely sweeping 413 Catalyst tonight. And like Yeti kind of said to start this entire thing up, 413 started their season 3-0, one of those wins being a forfeit, and then lost their last 2. So this was a huge game for them to try to see if they were, you know, a team that needed to be kind of feared, or it was a team that, you know, just played against some teams that weren't necessarily up to par with them, and now are starting to run into those teams that are better or at par with them. And Crabby Crabbers tonight seemed to be a team that no matter what 413 Catalyst was able to do or was able to throw at them, always seemed to have a response to it.
Yeah, definitely. Crabby Crabbers really good in being able to respond to 413 Catalyst's change. It was a good performance from 413 Catalyst, but they just couldn't clutch it out when it matters. And at the end of the day, it was Crabby Crabbers taking home their first 4-0 sweep of Tranquility here today, and putting themselves in a very good position entering stage number 2. But with the dust to settle and the crab rave going on a deserted island somewhere in the middle of the world, Dex, I need to ask you, who is your player of the match from the side of the Crabby Crabbers?
I feel like the easy answer is Dragon. Dragon has been just a rock throughout this entire series, honestly. With the Sombra on the first map, to, I believe they were playing a Soldierin on the second map. Then we saw Widow on the third. And Dragon, you know, not even being a name we really called a lot on this last map, but I feel like that third map was so key for the Crabby Crabbers and the play around that Dragon had on that Widowmaker, that they have to be named MVP or player of the game for this one, in my opinion.
Yeah, honestly, I usually don't double down, But in this case, I'm going to double down. Dragon has been a long-standing member of Tranquility, has been really strong in the Transcendence tier, has played for a myriad of different teams, and always seems to have that consistent performance. And now they are showing it off when it matters the most, and they're able to help Crabby Crabbers get this 4-0 victory here in stage number 2. Wonderful performance coming out from the Crabby Crabbers and Dragon, who is our player of the match here today. But that's going to do it here for Tranquility Gaming. A quick reminder, just remember, !donate in the chat. We are still raising money for Rise Above the Disorder. If you want to donate any sort of funds, our charity will be closing out after tomorrow's feature match, which we do have 2 other feature matches tomorrow, Discord EU and Discord NA at 3 p.m. Eastern and 9 p.m. Eastern, respectively. So there's a lot to watch throughout here in Tranquility Gaming, and there's much more to come. But that is going to do it for us today. For my wonderful co-caster, Dexatron, our amazing caster, Mr. Yeti, who could not make it all the way. We hope he is doing very well thus far. And, of course, our wonderful producer, Laggy Sun. We thank you all for watching. My name has been Bowsy. Until we meet again, we hope you have an amazing night.